Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you're talking or listening to us right now. This is Hamfest TV, and we are at Gigaparts at the Huntsville Hamfest. And our program today is brought to you by Gigaparts and QRZ.com. Our first guest almost needs no introduction, but we'll give one anyway. His name is Bob Heil. I'm surrounded by his products, and you are about to be surrounded by the thoughts of Bob Heil. Bob, welcome.
Well, good afternoon. It's nice to be here.
Okay.
And what a great Hamfest this is. It always is a wonderful Hamfest, but this one really is super duper. And we're glad to be here and happy that Gigaparts put this presentation together. This is quite a production.
It is, and part of it is because of the Heil microphones and audio equipment that we are using and displaying here today. Tell us a little bit about how you got into specifically the audio side of ham radio and broadcasting in general.
I started my career as a Wurlitzer theater organist. When I was 15 years old, I became the assistant organist at the Fox Theater in St. Louis. And why that was so important is we had to voice and tune that big Wurlitzer. That's how I learned to listen, voicing these thousands of pipes from 1 inch to 32 foot. And not just in tune, but harmonically. That's very important. Listening is a lost art today. People hear, that's just a physical process. Listening is a mental process. Little did I know that way on down in my life that it would become the center focus of what I did in several careers. I moved out of playing there for about 12 years, and I got into playing with big sound systems. And because of my ham radio, I became a ham radio operator when I was 15. Back in 1956. And what was so important about that was I learned how to build things, because in that part of the history of ham radio, we were still building a lot of our things. And I was able to couple that with the listening, and that's really was the basis of it all. Well, when I got through with the playing, I started playing, I opened a little music shop, became a Hammond organ dealer, and all of a sudden the world opened up. And I would go on some of the tours with these big sound systems. I didn't know no one else had not been doing big sound systems. We're talking 20,000 watters in 1968. Wow. And I met up with a band through one of the managers who wanted me to go on tour with this young band he had. That band was the James Gang. Uh-huh. And Joe Walsh, WB6ACU, an amateur radio operator. We discovered about 2 or 3 days into the tour we were both hams, changed the whole thing. We actually changed the world because so much happened from this union of Joe and I. It was one of those things that we were able to do things on the road. I could change things, make changes. He'd have ideas while all the show was going on. But we got into it later on, and it became crazy. There's so many stories out there. The night rock and roll sound was born. If you put that into Google, the night rock and roll sound was born, you'll read the whole history of the Grateful Dead and how we got together at the Fox Theater and the world changed because they hadn't played through a PA like that until that night. And it went on to The Who and Humble Pie, Peter Frampton. Joe and I came up with the talk box, the Heil talk box. Gave one to Frampton for Christmas. I mean, the stories just continue on. And I was very blessed to be able to put into these places because of ham radio. I was able to build things and do things. That was very important. So that's what happened in my early day. And I got off the road and started building more and more things for ham radio. And we are now one of the leading manufacturers of audio, microphones, headsets, so on, for ham radio. And about 8 years ago, Joe wanted me to build him a better microphone for the stage. And that's exactly what we did. And now we're up at high levels with the PR30s, PR40s, and the incredible PR35, which is a vocal microphone that everybody from Carrie Underwood to Charlie Daniels, Paul Rogers, all these great artists are using the Heil PR35s. But it was all started with my knowledge of amateur radio, and I've never forgotten that. And I love to share all of the science that we have learned through the years.
Well, specifically with ham radio, it's not always full fidelity that has been the important part, except for an increasing number of hams who are getting on, say, 160 and firing up old broadcast rigs.
Right.
How does having a very high quality, wide range of sound contribute to the communications that ham radio demands in sometimes noisy signal paths, like on HF?
The whole situation, both the Pro Sound live recording and ham radio, has one common denominator, and that's speech articulation. I learned that from Paul Klipsch, who came to me, wanted to know, why do you build such a big PA? And Paul, it was an amazing thing, the time that I spent with Paul. He taught me so much, got me back into the Bell Labs of how the telephone didn't work at first and how they corrected it, how your ears work. All of that has to do with the articulation, the frequencies you need to understand the difference of an F and an S and a P and a B. It's all done with the microphone. But nobody paid attention to that. They just built microphones. Well,
I just used my astatic lollipop for years.
It's matching. It's painted the same color. What a joke. It's not matching. It's just painted the same color. None of these companies that build transmitters build their own microphones. Well, we filled that void, and the contesters and DXers, almost all of them are using some form of Heil products because of our articulation. And that's exactly what led Joe to come to me. He said, take that articulation value and put it in my full range microphone. Because the microphones we build for ham radio are not all full range, but they're getting better. The transmitters have parametric EQs and all kinds of wonderful audio processing in the transmitter, which we didn't have before.
Well, we're talking here with Bob Heil at Gigaparts. We're at the Huntsville Hamfest, sponsored by Gigaparts and QRZ.com. And we'd like to tell you right now about the Gigaparts coupon code. That should be on your screen right now. Free expedited shipping on $200 plus purchases. And that code is right there on your screen. And it runs from September to December 2015. HSV 144F. One more time, please. Bring that. Oh, it's HSV U4F. I don't know what that one that I said before was going to get you, but you may want to use the correct one.
You never know. It might get you some cool stuff.
Yeah.
From somebody else. We don't know.
And we were talking with Bob Heil here, and we have several of his products, including something that I've been interested in, something I've had have to guard against, and that is when I'm on the air, whether ham radio or in the old days broadcasting, tapping.
Yep.
That's why you have, in addition to the microphones, you have several products for mounting the mics.
Exactly. You have to have some kind of shock protection. This is a brand new product. We have on the other side is the one with the boom. This is incredible. The microphone is the new PR10, and we have a boom for it because the problem is a lot of ham radio operators, they want to do this. They want to get about this far away because they have a desk stand. Well, look and listen.
Bob is talking from very far away to demonstrate
Listen what happened to my audio when I pull that away.
Yeah.
We lose 6 dB every time we double the distance. So we built this new product, the PR10 package, and it's got a little boom on it. So it's a desk stand with a boom.
That looks to be just the right length.
It is. It's worked well, and we've thought this out very well before we did it. The push-to-talk button, even you put batteries in the bottom, and it'll light up when you push to talk and key your transmitter. But it's a lot of good shock mount in the PR10. And then we, of course, have a lot of booms. We were the first guys to ever bring professional booms to this industry with shock absorbers, just like we do in broadcast. There's no reason we shouldn't have that in this market, and of course we have done that. We've brought new technology to the hand mic. Hand microphones have always been terrible because they all sound like this. And a lot of people say, mine don't sound like, yes, it does. And what we did is we opened up the top of the hand mic, and it sounds gorgeous. But nobody's ever touched the technology of the hand mic until now. And so the new HMM has done that.
Well, they do take a beating. Vocal mics.
Oh, yeah.
Especially these days when kids are going through a rap and then they are dropping the mic.
Dropping the mic, that's right.
You won't be recommending that for any Heil product.
You can do that all day long. We don't care because they're really built to last. We knew that going in when we build them. So that's been a really big part of our initiation with the plant. Our director of operations, Stephen, Jerry, Donna, she's been with us for 22 years. They really understand all these things that happen each day, and they get involved in the production. And Sarah Heil owns and runs Heil Sound, and it's just a well-oiled machine. We just are in the process of building another 3,500 square foot warehouse. We're just so blessed, but we're bringing great products. Last but not least is that new headset. It's a David Clark done right. There's a lot of copies of this thing today, but they're not done right. And about 2 years, we really did it. It's the only headset, all of ours have it, has phase reversal in it, where you can reverse the phase of the speakers and move signals around in your head. It's just phenomenal. It's got a left side balance, so you can balance out if you have hard of hearing on one side or another. And interchangeable microphones. It comes with several cables, so you can have a coiled or a straight, all kinds of stuff. A push to talk button. I can't tell you enough about the new Pro 7. It's an amazing piece, and we're very excited about this. And it comes in 4 colors. It comes in red, and blue, and black, and pink. So why not? But we're just having fun with all these new products, and we hope that everybody gets to try one and own one, because once you ever try it, you will own it.
In your development of microphones, did you ever have kind of an aha moment, like when you were studying other major professional products? What, without giving away any trade secrets, what aha moment did you have?
It was the PR30. Joe asked me to build him a big microphone, and we built an 1.5 inch diaphragm. No one had ever done that successfully. And we got that working, and it was marvelous. And as everything, we take it on a tour. We build a few of them and take them out on tour. And we took the PR30 out on tour with Modest Mouse, Jason Robain. And in a few months, he called me and he said, I'm out with Joan Baez. I got a new job. And he said, I'm using it for cymbals. It's absolutely the best cymbal microphone I've ever had. But Joan wants to talk to you. I said, about what? He said, she picked it up and was singing through it, and she thinks you should build that in a hand mic. And we did, and it was the PR35, which is now one of the major vocal microphones in the industry. And the PR35 came about because of that little scenario with Joan.
We're talking with Bob Heil here at the Huntsville Hamfest, and I understand we're going to be taking a pause here in just a few seconds, and we will be right back to Hamfest TV, QRZ.com, and Gigaparts.
Very good. Good to be here today.